Most of the decisions that are not based on evidence frequently fail. That means you don't have any basis of your decision. With that, ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, let's talk about marketing research and information gathering and processing in retailing. So, uh, this topic will be talking about paano mo nasabi? What made you that decision? So of course, we need to back up that with evidence. We need to have that what we call data science, no? That will help us to lead through better strategies in marketing. So let's start. Okay. See, so this lesson is deep dig no it's a dig deeper of the discussion in last meeting about the understanding and identifying customers. Of course, you just don't identify the customers, you you check on their behavior. And how do you check on their behavior? It's about research, it's about data analytics. Okay, so there's an information flow in a retail distribution channel, and the information are not just confined with your customers. In fact, if you are distributing your product, no, uh, you have your information as a supplier, and then um, the retailer, particularly if you're the retailer, you'll be getting your information from the supplier as well as from your customer. So that doesn't end with the customer. For you to understand more about your customers, so hindi lang siya natatapos sa customer lang, kundi even suppliers might know something about what is happening. Okay, so just like the sales, the orders, and anything. Okay, so a supplier needs info such as you as supplier. No? What information do you need? First, you need information from your retailers, just like the estimates of category sales. No? How much sales? You know if it is the brand is growing, inventory turnover rates. No? And then feedback on competitors and the level of customer returns and so on. So you need you need the actual sales coming from the retailer if you're the supplier, and then from the customer, no, as part of your research, attitude towards given styles and models, the extent of brand loyalty, the willingness to pay premium for superior quality, and so on. So you are understanding their behavior, their attitude towards the retail actions. No? Okay, so what do a retailer need naman? No? Okay, a retailer needs this kind of information. It needs information from the supplier, the advance notice of new models and model changes, training materials of. So it means should the supplier should um, give information about new products, the sale forecast, for them to be able to help into their sales. No? So pinabebenta mo sa isang retailer to. So dapat maalam siya, no? Look at these mobile phone vendors, no? Tinetrain sila ano yung best specs nila, kanino siya dapat, no? And then what do you need from your customer? Why people shop, no, with the retailer? What they like and dislike about the retailer, and well, what else do they like? Remember, the retailer doesn't produce the product. So, yung pinaka-service niya, what do they like about the shop? No? So that means the potential, that means the expected, the augmented, and the potential retail strategies na ginagawa ng isang retailer. Enough na dun sa product because that's product management, the superiority of the product or the brand. Okay? So what do consumer needs naman in developing their decision? So it needs the information coming from the supplier, assembly and operating instructions, the extent of warranty coverage, where to send complaint, and so on. So that is within the product. So it's to the manufacturer, the supplier. No? So what do they need to know about the retailer naman? Specific merchandise is in stock, no, in the store, methods of payment accepted, merchandise inventory system, so delivery system. So that's outside the product na, no. Simula prelims, I've got to tell you that it's outside of the product, no. So it's the retailer's responsibility na yon. Okay? So, what's the retailer's role on data gathering? At the very least, your retailers has that first hand with the customers. No, first hand kaysa sa customers, no, kaysa sa supplier. Retailers often play a crucial role in collecting data of other of the value delivery chain because have most direct contact with the shoppers, as I mentioned. Retailers may assist in data gathering by permitting data to be gathered in the premises, no? Makuha mo yung information to your customers. Minsan nagtataka ka why there are survey forms there, no? Why they are collecting information from you. No? Gathering requested by suppliers, such as how consumer react to displays. No? So that might be qualitative but also quantitative data. What's their response with the models, with the demo units. No? Passing along information on the attributes of consumer buying particular brands and models. So the reasons why customers, no, that might be qualitative as well, but also you can quantitative the reason for selling yung product, for buying that product, no. So you are transmuting or converting those attributes into quantity to be part of their research para hindi mo masabi na ay ito dapat gawin natin, no. So what are the potential pitfalls, no? Okay, so what do we need to avoid, no, on when you make a strategy? You need to avoid inadequate information, yung mga TH, you know TH, tamang hinala, no. So yes, you might be true in some perspective, but not all the time, as well as not all areas, no. So you're using your intuition, yung kutob, no, yung kutob is might be good at sometimes but not that accurate kanya nga kutob eh. So we are basing our strategies based on the information, continuing what was done before. Remember, the environment changes, so you need to analyze and develop. If you remember, we've discussed the environmental analysis, no, that changes the mission and the strategies of the company. So we need to understand analytics for us to know what right is going on and continue it, or need to be developed, no. Copying a successful competitor strategy, copying per se doesn't make you successful. There are companies who had copied other strategies that has a short-lived success. That means it might be depending on the uh, character of the company, no. So baka hindi fit yung competitor strategy, so you need to strategize well, no. So halimbawa sa atin, no, kapag binaba mo yung presyo, no, uh, kasi naging successful yung company na ganyan, binaba niya yung presyo, and uh, naging maging successful ka, but doesn't necessarily mean why. There are different attributes affecting that strategy, no. First is the brand reputation, and then the environment, and then their target market will also vary. Okay, and then devising strategy after speaking to few individuals about their perception. So ang tawag dyan is not well represented. So in marketing research, no, hindi pwedeng ilan lang. Of course, you need to study your number of respondents that will represent the whole, no? So para maging convincing, and also lesser yung room for error for your strategies. Okay? And then automatically assuming that a successful business can easily expand, no? That's the most uh, problems, no, in a retail strategy, because they're always looking forward, and they have abrupt decisions basta basta, no. So you need to study that. That's why we need marketing research, gather information first, automatically assume that not having a good read of the perception, no. Kanya nga you need to transmute those into numbers, no, into analytics, so as for you to understand it more, no. Just like the COVID virus, no, the coronavirus, pinag-aaralan yung analytics. So what do we need to do now? Now, those are their strategies. Okay, so where do you get your source of your information? You have a primary data source and secondary data source. No? Um, Primary data sources are information that are generated via survey, observation, experiment, and simulation. These are first-hand information. Those are your primary data sources. And your secondary data sources are the data that have been gathered for the purposes other than addressing the issue or the problem. So it might have been used in other researches, and you are using that, no, for a particular purpose. No? Ibig sabihin, hindi yun para sa study mo, pero nakaka-apekto siya sa study mo. So, this might be your related literatures, no? Or other posted and published articles and studies that might affect your strategies. No? So, what are the benefits? No? Benefits and the disadvantages of your secondary data. No? Your secondary data uh, is inexpensive because these are already available. No, it's coming from the company records, the trade journals and government publications, just like uh, Philippine Statistics Authority. No, so you know that, then that will affect, no date collection forms, interviews, and tabulation needed because there is always available secondary data. No? Data can be gathered quickly. Company needs library sources, websites. No? As I mentioned earlier, there are several other sources of secondary data, and with many perspectives. So that might be used in other perspectives. No? Secondary sources may possess information that would otherwise be unavailable to the retailer. So government publication often have the statistics no private firm could acquire. No? So kasi just like that, Philippine Statistics Authority might have those statistics. No? When data are assembled by a source such as the AC Nielsen, results are usually quite credible. No? Third party naman ito, yung mga nagsa-survey. No? So they are quite credible. No? So knowing what strategies, if you saw that from the statistics of these secondary data sources are telling that there's an inflation and it affects people, and um, people get price sensitive. So, may basihan na yung magiging decision mo. Okay? The retailers may only have a rough idea of topics to investigate. Secondary data can help to define issues more specifically. So, in addition, background information about given issue can be gathered from secondary data before undertaking primary study. So, you can verify that using that primary data source, no? Primary data gathering. Okay? Not costly ang secondary data, but we have now the primary data advantages. So they are collected for specific purpose. Information is current, so actual. The units of measures and data categories are designed exactly, and the firms either collects data itself or outside party. So the sources is known and controlled, no? Kasi nga you know your respondents, no? Well targeted yung mga respondents mo. There are no conflicting data from different sources. Yan nga. It is made for that kind of research actually. No? And when secondary data do not resolve an issue, primary data are the only alternative. No? Kasi if you are digging deeper with the behavior of people using analytics, no? On your research, it might not be credible if magbabase lang tayo sa secondary data, no? So in your perspective, no? Okay? So while it's not true, no? While it's true with other companies, it might not be true with your company, no? Okay, for primary data disadvantage naman, they are normally more expensive because you need to put up your own instrument, the methods, the methodology of your research. No, it's time consuming, no? And information are sensitive because of the data privacy law. No? Some information cannot be acquired by individual firm. No? Mahirap minsan. If only primary data are collected, the perspective may be limited. No? Specific lang kasi yung gustong malaman. So relevant information may be collected if the issue is not stated clearly enough. Okay? So after knowing those thoughts, the primary and secondary data, no? Primary and secondary data, you are able to create strategies out of that. Now, that's what we call hearing the voices of your customers. no? So may basehan na yung strategy na gagawin mo. Okay? I hope that this helps actually with your retail management, in product management as well. And I hope in your marketing research. With that, thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you on to the next one. God bless.